What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time stopping by, what's up? My name's Greg. This is our channel. This is HookLife. Today we are talking about river fishing, and I live in the state of Indiana. There's a ton of moving water in my neck of the woods, not a lot of lakes. I didn't grow up river fishing. I've had to adapt my style of fishing, and I absolutely love what I do these days. I absolutely love the waters that I fish. But if you're not used to fishing rivers, it can be daunting. Where to start, what baits to throw, so on and so forth. I think that rivers may intimidate a lot of people, but they really don't have to. So I want to go over 3 lures with you guys that if you fish rivers, can help you put some giant smallmouth in the boat. Let's go. Now, I'm probably a lot like everybody out there that I like to chuck and wind. I like to throw moving baits, power fisherman type situation, if you want to call it that way. And I really like that because it helps to cover water. Because whether you're fishing a lake, a reservoir, a river, a stream, a creek, 90% of the fish are only in 10% of the water. So finding those fish is the first piece of the puzzle, and then deciding what those fish are going to bite is the second part of the puzzle. And what we're talking about today is specifically for rivers. Now, I kayak fish from rivers, and I can't bring a ton of gear with me, so deciding what to bring, how many rods to bring, all of that stuff's important, especially if you're, humping kayaks up and down, takeouts and put-ins, places to put your kayak in, places to take your kayak out. Having a lot of gear with you can be a huge pain in the butt in those situations. So downsizing your gear, downsizing your tackle, traveling light, those are all important things. One of the very first baits that I love to throw, that I love to bring with me, that's a confidence bait for me, that's a moving bait, is the tried and true spinnerbait. Now, smallmouth, I have learned, absolutely love spinnerbaits certain times of year. It's a great bait to chuck and wind and to cover water. What I found for smallmouth is I like a downsized spinnerbait. So this is more of a little compact profile. I like the tandem blades for the rivers. Weight, I like something around the 3/8 to ½ ounce. You can even go a little bit heavier and burn it. Smallmouth like a bait that's moving pretty fast from what I've discovered. And the heavier the bait, the faster I can move it without it coming to the surface and blowing out on the top. Now, these types of spinner baits work really, really well on smallmouth, but you want to know works even better? An inline spinner bait. Inline spinner baits they're usually pretty small. A lot of us grew up fishing them as when we were kids, rooster tails and meps and things of that nature. This is a meps, this is a smallie slayer. It's a little bit bigger. I think it weighs 1/4 ounce, and I can actually cast this from a bait caster. But if you're just getting into river fishing, if you're interested in targeting smallmouth in river systems, whether you're going to throw a spinnerbait like this or an inline spinnerbait like this, it's a great choice for smallies on the river. Another thing that I think is extremely important and needs to be discussed is retrieving your bait with the current or against the current. In this situation, the current is moving from right to left, so it makes normal sense for bait fish that are traveling down in a heavy current situation to be traveling down this river from right to left. So if I cast my bait to the right and retrieve it back to me, it's moving in a very natural presentation. Fish on. Smallie on a spinnerbait. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Let's go! First fish of the day. That's fucking awesome. First fish of the day on the spinnerbait in the middle of the channel. I think today's going to be a fantastic day. Let's go. Fish on number 2. Is that a fish? That is a fish. Oh no! It pulled off. That was a big fish. That was a big fish. Damn it. Hi. We got one. Oh, it's a good one. It's a real good one. Oh. Woohoo! Woohoo! Smallmouth bass. There's one lure that I think about when I hear the word smallmouth bass. It's the tube. The tube does not get the love that it needs and deserves these days. And frankly, that's okay with me, because the less people throwing a tube, it means the more smallmouth for me, because this thing is an absolute smallie slayer, especially for rivers. Now, there's a couple different ways to rig a tube. When fishing river systems, I would highly recommend it fishing the stupid tube rigging method. If you're not familiar with that, Google it. There's a ton of videos out there. It's not something that I've come up with, but it's something that I've learned and adapted. And anytime I'm going fishing for smallies on the river or fishing rivers in general, I'm bringing a tube with me because this thing absolutely works. Why does it work so well? Because it imitates a crawfish really, really well. It moves really, really well in current. And when you rig it stupid tube, it's absolutely snag proof. Check this out. Maybe a 12 or a 13. Look at the colors on him, man. No filter needed. Gorgeous. Barely hooked. Beautiful little smallie. I got you this time, buddy. I hope y'all are out there catching. I hope y'all are out there fishing. My tube just dangling in the water. That was the craziest thing of all time right there. Oh, that was some fun shit right there, man. So I just got done measuring a fish, and I'm trying to get my kayak into position. I got my tube dangling just over the side. I'm pedaling. Next thing you know, my rod's going in the water because this little mean mother trucker just decided to smash my tube just floating in the middle of the water column. Gotta love smallmouth, man. Free the fighter! Oh my gosh, I wasn't recording for that. Just flipped into that laydown right there. Got a nice one here, guys. Oh, he's a fatty. He is a fatty. Nice. Wanting that stupid tube. Oh! Get in here. He took off running with that thing. Man, these little fish. These are 12-inch fish, man, and they just fight like champions. They are the fighters. They are pound for pound the most fun freshwater fish I have ever had the pleasure of targeting. Another moving bait that everybody should probably be familiar with these days that works really, really well on the rivers for any type of bass is going to be a bladed jig, aka the chatterbait. One of the things that I have found that works really, really well for smallmouth or largemouth or spots in my area, instead of throwing something like this, take the skirt off and rig a fluke on an unskirted chatterbait and fish it that way. Fish on. Oh no! How does that happen? How does that happen? Again? Is that a fish that I'm hooking onto? What the frig is going on? Interesting. Let's see if it happens again. Dude, that is a fish. That is a big fish. That is a very big fish. Get in here, dude. Oh. Oh. Yes. Maybe they're just barely getting hooked. Yes. Look at that fat face. That might be what it is. They might barely be getting hooked. He's a chunk. Yes, sir. Little T-Rex humpback fat face bronze bomber. All right. Let's see if there's more out there. That is not a fish. That feels like I'm gonna have to go fish it out. Nope, pulled free. And into a fish's mouth. Come on, buddy. 6-pound test, people. 6-pound test. Barely hooked. Come on. Get it here. Oh. 14 1/4. I ain't mad at it one single bit. Get out there. Go chase some smallmouth. All right. Well, we're on a roll. We're in a spot. Fish are on a current seam behind a piling. We're going to see if we can do that again. Let's check our leader, just because that's the responsible thing to do. Let's see if oh, not on that cast. Oh my God, that's a good one. Hopefully he's got it good. Yeah, he's not huge, but he's a good one. looks like he's barely hooked. Oh, he's beat up. He is beat up. One-eyed Willie. All kinds of stuff. This guy's been through the ringer, man. Poor dude. Survivor. Fishy, fishy, fishy. Fishy, fishy, fishy. Here, fishy. Here, fishy. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.